Play it cool.
Hello everybody, this is Hunter Black Luna, and welcome to Let's Play Stardrive. This is a real-time strategy game 4X indie game off of Steam. So it was about $30, I believe. This, like many games, was when I first basically saw in a really proper way in a GetDaved Let's Play. I was convinced to buy it, and I'm gonna give LPing it a try, even though real-time strategy games are much harder for me to LP than turn-based ones. Describing this game is, well, Dave said it best when he called it, it's basically a mix of Sins of a Solar Empire and Galactic Civilizations, which is awesome. That's why I think I'd really enjoy this. We can see here, I'll try to explain some stuff as it goes along, but if you've had experience with strategy games, you will probably recognize lots of this stuff. You know, right now we're creating our character. We're gonna be the boring old humans. We just are. And I don't know, as an homage to my massive Galactic Civilizations 2 Let's Play, we're gonna go ahead and call ourselves Terrans, the Terran Federation and all that stuff, and I could introduce you to each race, but let's just introduce you as they come. You can see some of them down here. I really like the aliens and the diplomacy in this game, but we'll get to that when we get to it. No doubt, while I've been talking, you've been checking out some of this stuff. I like the flavor text. There's a lot of flavor text provided, which helps that feeling you get in a strategy game of like building your own story, and the story is in the game. Alright, the human race starts out with a pretty well balanced start. We don't have any weaknesses. We're smart, industrious, and meticulous, which means industrious 35% to our production efforts, which is good. Meticulous, 25% bonus to our tax income, more money. That's meticulous. And smart, obviously, is a research bonus. You can also take penalties. Like every race creation thing, it works on a point system. It looks like we have 8 points to spend. The other thing we get is a prototype flagship, which I don't know. I don't think, since we're so limited on points, I want things that will help us the entire game, whereas something like a prototype flagship would probably get outdated at some point, and I'm not really one for rush strategies. But the thing is, we can't really do anything else with that spare point, which is why the AI picked that for us, pretty much. We could get rid of meticulous. Although, I do recall, basically this is going to be my first actual run of this game, so you will have to bear with me, sort of. I'm familiar with the concepts, but I have never executed it, which may lead to frustration. We'll see how that goes. Please excuse me. Never let's play with a dry throat. I thought what I'd like to do is we're gonna take polluted homeworld, which seems, you know, that's kind of what humans do, which will make it much harder to grow food. And that will allow us to Now, there are a lot of things we could pick. I like Manifest Destiny. Passenger transports carry 3 times as many colonists to New World. That means that you get kind of a running start at developing your planet, which is nice. That would be a nice bonus. But that's a lot of points. I think what I'd rather do is, there was one that I really liked. Physical tree. Efficient metabolism. We require 25% less food total. So you see how it's harder to grow food on the homeworld, but long term, we'll need less food, which means obviously we can devote more of our society's labors towards other things. If you're a social studies geek, that's kind of how it goes. The Empire comprised of Terran. I forgot to put an S over there. Alright. Yeah, race name plural is Terrans, singular is Terran. Humans are the best. This just seems, and like humans are usually blue or yellow. The settings up here, I'm gonna leave it on a medium normal galaxy size, honestly, because medium galaxy is still fairly big, even with 7 opponents. And there's only one game mode. Basically, we either wipe everyone else out, or we unite the galaxy in alliance. What I'm going to do is wipe out the people I don't like, form alliances with the ones I do, and then call myself a peacemaker. Now we're going to roll this on normal difficulty. There are, it looks like 4 difficulty settings, which are all as you might think it is. This being my first game, we'll roll on normal. If things go well, we may try other games with other races. I gotta admit, from what I've seen, the Kolrathi are really cool. But no, let's rule options. You can lower the speeds of ships that are within gravity wells. I'll tell you what, for our first game, we're not gonna mess with that too much. Also, this game is kind of a work in progress, like a lot of indie games that you can get. I believe it was a Kickstarter, but we're gonna do our best with what we got, everybody. And like I said, please bear with me. Game turn occurs every 5 real-time seconds. We can increase or decrease the game speed by pressing plus or minus keys, which will be nice. Also, we're going to start out in a very similar start to Sins of a Solar Empire. We're going to pause immediately. And here we are at planet Earth. Some of you may be familiar with Earth. Some of you might even be from Earth. I don't know. I haven't checked my demographics lately. And we find ourselves, as the human race, islanded in a stream of stars. And you can see there's solar systems in every direction. We don't know anything about them. However, we as humans have started with a couple of ships at our disposal, which we can start working with. You got your standard, you got a colony ship, which is full of human colonists ready to go and explore. Currently in Earth orbit. We start with an unarmed scout, which is a scout that's unarmed. I am going to immediately order this guy to avoid engaging in combat whatsoever, because he has no weapons. And we're gonna just hit the auto explore button on this guy, because now he can explore, that's fine. That's fine. And the one here that we start out is the Perseverance, which one of the many features that I think is really cool about this game is that you can assume direct control. I'm not entirely clear on how, but you can also look stuff up. And by assume direct control, I mean you can fly it around arcade style and shoot stuff, which is just so badass, I think. Like, that's what I've been wanting from an RTS for so long. I just had this idea in my mind. So that's our 3 ships. I'm gonna have the flagship avoid fighting too, because it's armed, but is it armed? It should be. It's carrying ordnance. That would suggest, I mean, that it has some form of guns on it. But we're gonna tell it to auto explore as well. We're just gonna... There's a lot of cool automation in this game. Okay, so we're paused, right? This is the equivalent of the very first turn. In fact, the game even uses the turn concept. I don't know where to sit, because it's hard to see things when you zoom in too close or too far away. Okay, let's get things started out. As you can see, the 4X stuff, the very first thing, the tech tree. Every strategy game pretty much features the technology tree. And we start out not very good at research, so we'll be wanting to get aeroponics. Sounds pretty good considering our farming difficulties. And it will lead to things like biospheres. Terraforming eventually is the one that we want, obviously. Well, we can't skimp on these things. I think I want... Oh... Warehouse. Rover Bay. Yeah, we're gonna go for industrial foundations, followed by aeroponics. And... Actually, nah, we'll switch that up, honestly. I want scientific foundations because that'll allow us to build a building which makes us better at research, which is something we're going to really value because we start with a research bonus anyway, so we can leverage that. You can see the different tech trees obviously have things that you might expect, like energy at better power cells, energy weapons, phasers, photon cannons, quantum torpedo cannons, energy shields, sociologistics, governance, cryogenics, mercantilism, privatization, centralized banking. This is how you communicate with aliens. I'm going to worry about that when we find aliens. And this is for resupply ships, pretty much, like ordnance bays, repair drones, Here is where we worry about faster than light stuff, pretty much. And some special weapons, tractor beams, ion cannons. Obviously, space weapons, guns, and missiles. There you go, mostly missiles, honestly. And starship construction, armor, freighter shipyards, fighter bays on ships. You can design ships, by the way. We'll get to that in a moment, but it's one of the things I really like about the game. Okay, so we're gonna start with these 3 techs queued up, I think. We're not gonna worry about military until we have to. And then probably xenolinguist imperial offices. Now see, money's good if you're not aware. I'd also like this to make my ships faster, although we'll probably switch that up at some point. That's our provisional start, so we'll set it. We're advancing 1.4 research points a turn. It'll take us 150 points to get there. So we got a ways to go, everybody. And remember, we got a bonus. There's our Empire Treasury. We can set the tax rate, which will affect how productive everything is. And the Treasury going into the negative is a really bad thing in this game. We are going to avoid that at almost any cost. You can see, if you look at the planet management screen, you'll see the immediate comparison to Galactic Civilizations 2. I mean, it even looks similar. You got sliders. Basically, at 1.0 food, that's your planet is producing enough to sustain its population. Above that will help the population grow, and you can import or export food and production. And we are going to set the home world to export both, if possible. And as you can see, we've got some stored up already, which we can use on stuff. And the various things we can build, including, of course, the Terran Space Marines. Freighters carry production, food, colony ships, obviously, scouts, obviously, fighters, obviously. The recon shuttle is a design that I made. It's basically just a recon ship. I actually probably we want to revisit things. We can't build any more buildings. We want to get the homeworld working on new ships, basically. New scouts and especially new colony ships. Because we're going to want to expand. Because our prospects for colonization in the solar system itself kind of suck. compared to what we can find out there. Uranus is not habitable by human beings. We knew this already. Well, let's go to the shipyard then. I've been talking about it for a little bit. The ship design feature of this game is incredibly rich, and I love it. You can name your ships and all that stuff that I could just geek for hours over. Obviously, there's different hull sizes, like the platform base, which can let you make like defense platforms, and freighters. Obviously, freighters carry stuff. So right now, you wouldn't think we could do anything interesting, but notice that some things only go on certain slots. There's obviously the engines back here, there's internal, outer, and then these things which can be internal or outer, and each of them have different restrictions, and they change the stats over here. Two types of engines. The small engine, a ship's thrust to mass ratio, yeah. Ample thrust. It's basically, it goes at FTL and normal speeds. The small warp engine is double warp speed and half sublight speed. But the thing is, we're going to have this freighter traveling around colonies in different solar systems. So it's going to be spending a lot more time in a warp than it will be at subwarp, basically. Especially with in-system FTL on. So we're going to go with warp engines on almost everything. We're going to want a power plant, obviously, to power things. We can get a small reactor. We'll just get a medium reactor. Note that if these things are hit, they will explode and probably just destroy the ship outright. I mean, you can get bulkheads, internal bulkheads, to buffer them, but honestly, if the small freighter gets in a fight, it's dead anyway. What we want is for it to recharge at warp, which it does, which means that basically it can sustain its flight right now. That's good. And we'll give it a... will we go for a medium fuel cell? That will give it a ton of power capacity. Does it need... let's see, the power recharge is 145. This will basically ensure that the freighter never has to stop to recharge. And I'm not an expert in this thing. I think what we're gonna do is put 2 small fuel cells anyhow. Well, cause let's see. Small warp engines use -20. Oh yeah, this thing would be fine with 1 fuel cell. No. We don't want to exit. We want... okay, so that... and I mean, obviously, every ship needs a command center. And for a small ship, that's just a cockpit. You know what? I'm just going to put it down here so it's powered. It doesn't necessarily matter where the ship's cockpit is. I don't know if having multiple cockpit increases your various ship stats. I legitimately don't know. It's kind of a ridiculous design. I mean, this thing is here to haul stuff, and that's the small cargo hold, which you will note it doesn't require power, so we don't have to care that the power doesn't get up there. We just don't have to care. This thing can carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 on the dot units of production or food, or colonists. So this thing is basically going to be good. Now see how much time I just took to build a freaking basic freighter? Yeah, ship design is important in this game. And we're just going to call it the Argo. You are the Argo freighter. And now let's design ourselves. Well, the question is... no. Okay, this is the fighter hull, which is... you start, like in Galactic Civilizations, you start with little fighters, and you work your way up to, like, battleships and stuff. But right now... we'll do this, and basically, we'll load the recon shuttle, which is our first design. You can see the power plant in the middle. It probably doesn't need all that, honestly. And basically, I'm just designing an unarmed scout. I'm gonna give it warp engines again, because it'll spend more time at FTL, basically. That's just what I figure. This thing can't fit a regular fuel cell. It just can't. As far as the power plant goes, I wonder if we can get away with a small... Ah, but that's the thing. Its recharge at warp sucks then. Power recharge of 60. These things take 20 power. And it recharges at warp, which means it won't spend much time stutter stopping, from what I understand. So that should be good. And we can put the command module right here. Now let's put it up there, sure. And we legitimately don't have anything else to put on this guy except additional fuel cells, I suppose, yeah. Basically, we load him up like that. Production cost of 21 production, which is pretty good. He's just going to go places and look. His standing orders will be to avoid contact with the enemy. And we'll save you his recon shuttle, that's fine. All you're gonna go do is check things out. Now let me check one thing real quick. The Argo freighter. Yeah, standing orders will also be to avoid engaging in combat. Okay, good talk everybody. And we can do the exact same thing for a colony ship. And I suspect 2 food, 2 production. Now my question is, can we put 3 of these things on here and just... No, we physically can't. Well, if we're slightly less dumb about this, we can fit 3 of these, which is absurd. Is there any benefit to that is my question, because I am coming into this blind. Small number of colonists. We are going to presume that it will in fact be beneficial to do this. And we're gonna... Gosh, I don't know. 4 warp engines, obviously. That'll basically be all our designs. This thing needs... Now my question is, will it be okay with just a small power plant? A small power plant? No, it won't. It definitely won't. No, this thing needs a medium reactor. There's nothing for it. A medium reactor will let it haul that big-ass, oversized colony module. Well, the thing is... Actually, wait. Ship design, the game. Oh, you can only put reactors on internal slots. Yep. There is physically no way to fit more than 1 colony module on these beasts. Oh, fuck, I may as well give you a medium fuel cell then. And... as for command... There you go. Now you have... You recharge power even at warp, which is nice. Sustainable flight. 63. Does this thing need... Because my question is, would giving it more cargo holds help at all? It doesn't seem like it. So I guess we'll do this and I don't know, see how this compares to a command module. Oh, you're not allowed to just leave blank slots. Well then, let me just derp and ruin the design. Notice how long it takes to design even simple ships. Well, that's partially because I'm also very slow. See, this is why I'm nervous sometimes, because I'm worried I'm too damn slow about things. Well, I wonder, could I just put... I don't know. I can't put internal bulkheads on the outside of the hull because you can't. What if I put... See, cargo holds don't cost money. I may as well do this. I'm sure the ship is going to be okay. And that'll slightly reduce the cost. So I don't know if this will be any better at all. But you are the new frontiers. Yay us. Okay, so we have a new recon ship. We have basically everything that's worthwhile. Notice that time is still paused. Nothing has actually happened yet. You've seen shipyard. We'll see diplomacy when we actually find anybody else. And I guess we'll get one spy, like, right now and start training him. I mean, hey. Suppose the earlier you start on this, the better. I don't know if that's an efficient move at this point. Can't build any buildings, so we may as well get started on a pair of recon shuttles, which are the same price as the unarmed scout, but should be more effective in their role. Yeah, see, the New Frontiers is cheaper than the other colony ship, and I'm hoping better. And then a pair of Argo freighters to help. And then after that, I don't know. Okay, everybody has their orders. Oh my god, I think we're ready to start advancing time, everybody. Although I will go in. We'll lock food production right there. We're gonna crank research up to 2. This will make it slower to build stuff, but I think it will be worth it to get this faster, because now we'll get it in 75 turns. Yeah. And we can actually start doing stuff instead of just sitting around. Okay, now that time is about to be unpaused, we can observe our fleets. Our recon vessels immediately zip off into hyperspace like that. Colony ship will stay here until such time as we find something worthy. And you can see our ships making their progress through space. You can set automation. Oh. And we've discovered an anomaly on the surface. We need to send ground troops to go investigate that. You can even set what ship you auto-build for stuff. I like a lot of these options. Why can't I? Okay, there. Recon shuttle. We'll hit it to auto explore, sure. Auto colonize. I think we'll handle that on our own. I like the idea of auto freighters. So we'll set that automation to on, which I think is wicked cool. But let's see the recon data from the first. Literally the first planet we arrive at has an anomaly. It's a desert average. Life on this planet would be possible but harsh. It's not bad. Prefer other worlds. There's a gas giant there. Those obviously won't be anything worth our time. Okay, so the anomaly, we don't know what it is until we go find it, obviously. So I am gonna get people to go find it. Namely, we're gonna get a unit of Space Marines. See, we're almost done with the next recon shuttle, and the game should auto-deploy it. There we go, recon shuttle, or I don't know. Set the recon shuttle to auto-explore. Now we have 3 ships going out there. Notice that we have production stored up. Instead of waiting for the Space Marines to be finished, we can hit this, which will apply stored production to the job to get it done quicker. This does cost money too. I don't care, let's just get those Space Marines ready. And we're going to order the Space Marines to launch, and we're going to go send a recon mission over and see what's up over there at the anomaly. So we're going to order our Space Marines to go to the Tila system. Alright, head over to Tila 2 immediately. Yeah, we've checked that out. Colonies marked red are not suitable for colonization. The Maiden system. Does the Maiden system have anything exciting? Barren average 0.3. That's terrible. Terran. Oof. I pretty much don't need to wait for the actual recon data to be done there.